Yo, 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 what is going on, guys? Let's take a nice look at NNDM so we can see what has occurred here since the last video we made talking about how I'm pretty sure that this was the official bounce in the official bottom here, and we found it, right? And look at the size of the bounce that we got off of this here. So you can see what has basically gone on here was it was in this massive, just like a lot of stocks here, in this massive falling channel, okay? So created this falling channel here, or falling channel, or falling wedge, probably more of a falling wedge. And the targeted move, whoops, I got all this shit in the fucking way. Let's see the targeted move out of this falling wedge so that we can see where we could be potentially heading here. This is a decent sized move, I'm pretty sure. So if we take a look at this potential scenario here of this breakout, boom. Whoops, that's not in the right spot. Right there. Okay, so we have a breakout here. Targeted move of 1330. That's the measured move. That doesn't mean that it hits 1330 and crashes. It just means that that's what this powerful move, and that's where this powerful move is headed. So let's see. Let's get some of this out of the way. So basically what I was looking at to start was this big rising wedge here that we created. And I was looking at this the other day, because we did have this descending triangle, and we broke positively out of that. We hit resistance here, and we started rounding over. And this wick that happened this morning was people kind of probably considering the same thing as me, that this right here could be a left shoulder, this could be a head, and then we could be making a right shoulder here to come back down and test this one more time for a bigger bounce. And I was looking for that as well, and when I saw this breaking down this morning, I said, oh shit, looks like it probably is going to do that. But I held my position strong here, and we ran up. Okay, we ran up here, and we caught resistance at this 1055, 1060 level here that I was looking at from back in the past here, where we came up and tested that. We got rejected and fell all the way down. And prior, we were catching a lot of support on it, catching some good support over there. And I believe it goes all the way back to this level here where we tested underneath, consolidated, we broke up, and we fucking ran, right? We ran. And that was the same level here. We broke, we fell under, and so on and so forth. And that just was a big resistance level for it its whole life. Right here, double top there, crash. Every time we break this thing, we fucking had a monster rally. And when we fell below it, we had a monster dump. And where are we right now? We are getting consolidation right here on top of this level. This is absolutely massive in my opinion here. So we have this rising channel here, or rising wedge, that broke out, right? Because this is a bearish pattern, but of course we're in a bullish uptrend right now, heading up to some of these potential targets here. Let me just see what this breakout potential is. So the breakout of this rising wedge here, the targeted move of that is 1173, which is probably where we could be heading here tomorrow. So let's just see how everything works out. So right now we're holding perfect support on the top of this rising wedge, which is roughly around 1086. And then we have this big support here that we definitely want to keep that one on our radar at this 1060, 1057 level here. Once we got this move out of here, I was waiting for this hourly close confirmation here. Now, of course, we didn't get much volume in here, unless this is just showing me not much volume because I'm zoomed out. Okay, there's the volume. So, we had a little bit of indecision volume here, but this big volume was confirmation. Excuse me. And this was your biggest confirmation here. So although I did sell half of my position at this point, I re-entered my position right here when we got this close above. And I believe it was at 11:30 or 12:30 or something. Either way, I think I must have entered in here. So I probably entered in here with this massive volume and this big pump here. And I got it right around this 1060 level, and I re-added to my position again. So yes, I did take profits maybe early here, probably on this wick here, pretty sure. And then we bought all the way back down here, and I was like, okay. And then we fucking just rocket shipped. So what are we creating right now? Well, to me, it looks like a nice bull flag here. If we were to, or a big pennant, a bull pennant, right? Because we have that straight across. And when you have straight across price action, that's a very bullish sign because that means the buyers are in control. So you want to see that most of the time. So now that we know our breakout of our overall pattern here is, and we could go from all the way over here, but I'm going to do conservative targets right here. So we have that breakout of the rising wedge to 1173. We have our overall breakout target to 1334. And then we have this bull pennant breakout if we do get a nice powerful move up again out of here up to 1260, with the exception that we are going to catch resistance to start right here at this 1244 level. And I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, if this didn't move at all, let's take a look at the 4 hour and see if we can find anything above here. And if you look here, this is all of our resistance above. This 1334 actually lines up perfectly with this red Ichimoku cloud. And this 1244 to 1287, and we have to look at this 1186 and obviously these moving averages here that, in a sense, this isn't the best scenario here because when you have a shorter term moving average and crossing a longer term moving average, that can push the price down here. So, we don't want to get too bullish here because this is a little bit of a dangerous situation. If it does cross, we have to see how the price is going to react to that. But for now, a lot of signs, in my opinion, are pointing to the upside here. But we'll have to see what happens because we could end up, whether that pushes us down or if it just keeps us consolidating a little bit longer on top of here. That's a couple different scenarios here. So we want to see what's going to happen when this red 50 crosses this 200 on the 4 hourly. And it could do nothing, or it could cause a pump. Sometimes I've seen death crosses cause a pump. And we do have some signs showing for a big, big pump. But, if we were to fall back in here, say we had negative action in the morning and we fell back into this rising channel and we decided to break down because of this death cross here, then your breakdown target right there looks like, come on. I hate this new thing that's been popping up. I don't know what I did to make that. But say we had something bad happen here and this death cross did fuck us and we fell back into this rising channel real quick. We fell below this 1057 support. We would drop down to 941, and I would put a very, very sizable bid on that personally, because I would expect that if that was the case, and I don't really see this being the case anymore. I was considering it because I was considering this being a small left shoulder, this being a head, and if we did come down at all, which looks like that lines up perfectly with this wick here of 940 or 950. If we did do something of that sort and we did drop here to 950, we would be creating a potential right shoulder there. And that could be another scenario that does happen here. If this ends up being shoulder and then we do something like that, then boom, we blast the fuck out even harder. So, for me, I'm just kind of in the stage of I'm going to buy any dip I possibly can on this thing. And, if we don't get a dip here, or if it isn't, if it isn't a rising channel and we're just breaking out from this lovely breakout here, then you can kind of see what has happened in the past once we consolidated on this zone here, which is a beautiful monster break. So these are all things to keep in mind here. This isn't to FOMO you in or anything, because obviously you still want to use technicals, and we're still in this kind of like scary times right now in the markets. But just know that this level here that we are getting our asses up on here, which we did get a 4-hourly close above today. And we just want to, keep in mind that we want to open up this next 4-hourly candle and hold support above that level. But this area right here is a very, very strong area. And that's why originally in my video, I said I will go long if we got a close above 1080. And what did we do today? We got a close above 1080. So if you listen back to some of those videos I was talking about around this area, I will only go long if we get a close above 1080. And we never got that close. And look what happened. We dropped. So that's where we're at right now. We just got beautiful, beautiful volume. We got beautiful break above 1080 and a 4-hour close above 1080 or 1060 really, but I think it was 1080 because of this wick here that kept coming up to 1080, and I was like, all right, if we don't get above that shit, and plus these wicks here that came down and kind of stopped at 1080. So 1080 is a very, very good area, as well as this 1065, and we're kind of bouncing right in between it, but we got to close above it. So that's where I'm at with NNDM. I feel very, 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 very bullish about it, even with these smaller targets that I have here of 1334 and 12. Oh, wow, that's only $1 move or $2 move. Well, guess what, guys? That's just the breakout of this. And we could get a fucking pump up here. We could get a falling channel and then another big bump. We could get this. We could flag out, come up, flag out underneath here. Or we could just do absolutely crazy shit like we did in the past, and we could come up here and we could run and just go the fuck up here like where we were in the past. There's no way to know exactly, so that's why I just give small short-term targets of resistance and support to watch out for. And like I said, doesn't have to even break all the way up there. It could get resistance here at 1168 and it could dump and come back down and double bottom, you know what I mean, depending on how the rest of the market's doing. So that's why it's always good to enter with caution and stop losses and all that if you're doing swing trading. If you're doing long-term trading, well, you should have been buying everything in this whole area if you like this thing as it is, because that was like almost felt like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to get that thing back down in that range. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys appreciate this content I'm giving you. And if you like this video, please hit the like button. And I'll have more to come, I'm sure, and see how this thing does tomorrow. So far, I'm liking everything that we have going here. The one thing we want to keep in mind here real quick before I head out is that we do have an 8 flash on the 4-hour, which means the next candle will be a TD9 flash. So we'll have to keep an eye on that, because that could cause some type of correction short term that could bring us down to some of those lower targets. But if it wants to continue consolidating, then that's perfectly fine as well for me. And I'll be perfectly fine with that, because this is technically 2 touches on this 1111 area. So we are having a little bit of a hard time. But keep all this in mind, and I'll see you guys next time.